Hey guys, how's it going? This is hopefully going to be the last video on this bike. There's 6, I think, in a series before this. It basically was a barn find, beat to hell. You know, little Johnny rode it to the ground, and his dad took his turn at it too and gave it another shot for good measure. Anyway, so we've been fixing it up over the last bunch of videos. Last video we got to do a little bit of yard driving with it. Seemed like it did fine. Did some wheelies down the driveway. I actually took it out on the road and just to see what a top speed run. It went up to like 34 on the speedometer. I think that's a little low, so I'm sure we have some tuning issues to still deal with. But I think we're getting to the point where we are almost complete. And what we still have to do is just finish up the front end. You can see the headlight bucket's all out of whack and it's missing, and wiring's kind of cobbled, and the levers on the front are missing grips, that kind of thing. So we're gonna go jump on that. A couple of things that still need to be also addressed that I just screwed up on. The bracket on the front for the seat is backwards. I was wondering why it wasn't latching correctly. It latches, but barely. Hold on a sec. There it goes. That won't unlatch. So we gotta just flip that bracket around so it faces the other direction. We'll also give it some more room for that gas cap and take care of that. Also, the correct battery came in. I got the wrong size battery in it. Let me regroup, get you in a stand, and we'll get into it. I got those 2 front screws out. And that just needs to go like that. Wonder why it was so hard to get the gas cap out. And for the battery, that's the one I ordered that I thought was for this bike, but it wasn't. That's the size of the battery as it should be. And here's the original cradle that came with. So we can swap that out, put the right one back in it, and this is going to go in another bike that cradle's out of, which is a an ST90 that came out of. So we already have a new battery for that, I guess. I guess when I was putting it together, I was trying to figure when the seat flipping up, it would have enough room to do so, and then if this is the other way around, how much travel it had going this direction. I was kind of questioning it. I'm just making excuses of what I'm really doing. Let's see how well it looks going like that. Stay. You know it's gonna fall. Seems like it would be really far forward difference though, but that latch was still catching. Probably deal with the battery while that's not on there yet. Probably unplug it first, huh? Ground. Power. Yeah, the difference in the 2 size batteries, one, the bike has directionals, had a bigger battery, and then the smaller one without the bikes without the directions, which is 72 and down. We have them. We gotta get that rectifier off of there too. Yeah, man. Where'd you go? We got him. Because it was a nut and bolt, that's why. I'll put that on the vent tube. I ran that down through the frame. We'll see if we can steal it right out of the battery. There we go. And we'll let the new battery go with that one. This needs to screw on. Like that. That's the only way it can go, right? a little rat-a-tat. Drop that back down. I guess they had a fuse. That looks like a fuse holder, doesn't it? Yeah, it did like 35 and it took a while to get there. I do suspect the timing chain issue still needs to be addressed, and I'm sure that's kind of robbing some of the power from it. So at a later date, I do want to dig into that motor a little bit. For now, I'm just going to leave it though. So ground and hot, and then we need to set up this battery. Where'd it go? What'd you guys do with it? Here it is. So that can get butted to there. And this, we're going to cut that end off altogether. We'll put a different type of end on it. And that'll be the correct battery to go in it. Actually, the vent tube too, huh? The vent I gotta go get. Figure out where to go run that. And this battery is right against the... Can we do that? Yeah, that'll give room for the vent tube now. Kinda. I'll get it in there. Yeah, it pinches off that vent hose for the battery. It's not completely pinched off, but it's got a sharp angle. And then looking at the original battery, they came from the center of it for the vent coming off. And it should have a fuse on the hot side, which I don't have. I'm going to go pick up a fuse holder and we'll put that in line. It's probably the only fuse in the whole bike. I don't notice anywhere else. So I guess it'd be a good option to fix that. Let's turn the key on. See if we get the, yeah, we got the tail light. Let's see if we can fire the brakes. Yeah, we got brake light. All right, bolt that seat back on. Pretty much done right there. I'm gonna throw a piece of tape on the one hot lead there for what's exposed until I get that fuse holder in there. Well, you know, the seat even stays up on its own. I was putting gas in it. I'm like, well, this is a stupid design. Sometimes you just miss things, you know? And it gives some more space behind the taillight too. I wonder if it's supposed to have some kind of maybe a little piece of rubber or something up inside here to get rid of that play, or maybe not. I'm going to tighten that front bolt going across, see if we can get rid of some of that wiggle that's in there. No, it was all the way tight. So we can go throw this back on too. I think that's supposed to lock right in there and stay on there. And the rest of it just kind of flops down. Like that. Sold! Go work on the headlight. Spun the bike around in the lift just so it would be easier for us to work on that front end, filming wise. A couple guys made a comment while the pin was cracked. In the last video I did a bunch of welding when we restored the seat. And I guess a common practice is to go and grab the seat when you're trying to lift the bike up. And when you do that, you twist the seat and it causes some cracking. I was trying to figure out what these two holes were for. Apparently there's a handle that can go here. It almost looks like a door pull handle that would bolt to that. You would grab it by that. I grabbed it by the rear fender, but I guess there's a, I think it's an option because I haven't really seen it on any bikes other than the ones I saw on the internet. Like it never happened. All right, front end. We know we got to deal with this bucket. The tabs look like they need some love. There's no spacers that are supposed to be in here. They're just supposed to be run right in, but of course not with those bolts. I'd like to paint that. I'd like to detail the odometer and the speedometer. And I want to change the oil in the forks. Might get in the bearings. The bearings might be fine too. I might just leave them alone. I'm not sure. Let's get the jack under the front of it so it kind of floats. And I think everything's pretty much color coded where it goes to. We just have the balls to rip it all apart and not mark anything. Right? Is that the same? Now that goes in red on one side. And the other side, no, it's red. That's right. This one below it I was looking at. And does that trace the same? Green with a red wire? Green with a red wire. I think we'll be safe just pulling those apart and getting that bucket out of there. Then we'll get the... yeah, that thing. No guts, no glory. So you just don't break them. Plus it gives us a chance to clean them all too, you know. They've only been together for 50 years. Should be fine. I know one of them broke off, we took off. I think it was on the headlight itself. Any more? Be separate? Almost. Yeah, that one. Red. It's a red. I think we have two sets of reds. Uh-oh. I guess we're gonna figure it out later. Alright. We also got to get a switch up in there too. That's that one. This is the horn. Nope. And let's get some wrenches on that to get that flappy guy out of there. I think that one was a standard bolt in the metric. This one's probably the same. I think we should... I think the dent's supposed to be there. What is that clearing? The cable? Yeah. I think we'll leave that alone. A date with the sandblaster probably wouldn't hurt though. And we'll hit that with a coat of black paint. We'll let that cure while we're dealing with the other stuff. Looks a little better, huh? So, guys are asking what, when I did the exhaust and something else I painted, why I didn't use a primer. This does not require primer. It is just essentially stove paint, and it is semi-gloss. I believe it was semi-gloss. Thought it said it somewhere. Anyway, so I'm just going to go with that straight up. It dries fairly quick. And then when it's used on something, you kind of preheat it to cure it. So we'll come back with heat. It says actually to kind of wait a little bit. I really haven't had an issue. Because the big part is when you start pawing at it later on, trying to run all the wires in it, that you start marking stuff up. It just seems like the heat gives it just a much faster, quicker cure. And I've never noticed any failures from doing it. And it's not that warm here. It's probably 60 in here right now, which isn't bad. But that's for the first coat. Let's go see how well our newly acquired yard sale heat gun works. So probably should not shoot it right at it at the Make sure no dust comes out of it first. I did that once. I painted the side of a car I was working on. I grabbed the heat gun or hairdryer, whatever it was, and it just blew all crap all over it. Bondo dust, I guess, was in it. So now I know at first, when I first turn it on, don't point it right at it. Working? Oh yeah. Yard sale season is starting up again. I see a couple on Craigslist listings that this weekend, or today's Friday actually, tomorrow should be some, but it's going to be raining out. And usually when it rains, it's only 10% of the normal yard sales, but in the spring and in the fall is the big times for them, because everybody's trying to clean out their house in the spring, and everybody's trying to clean out their garage in the fall to get their cars back in for the winter time. So I'll be out and about tomorrow. Yeah, you get the idea, right? I'll put that to the side. We'll let that dry. Got that out of the way. So I look at the reflectors. You can see that this one's kicked to the side where the other one's sitting straight out. So you know this whole thing needs to be turned in. I tried grabbing it. It doesn't move. I'm sure we loosen it up, it should be able to move. It's got some play in the bottom bearing. Whether it's just an adjustment, I'm not sure. And I want to change the oil in the forks. I believe it has oil in them. People were kind of questioning back and forth, but I believe that is going to be a drain for them. We need to kind of clean some of this stuff up. What do you want to do? You want to try taking the whole triple tree right off, or what do we got to do to get the Speedo out of there? Take the cable off. Kind of a weird looking nut setup. Oh, that one's missing a nut. That's what it is. Yeah, it's got one on that side and not one on that side. Let's see if we can get that out of there. We'll take the cable off. And then we can clean the bezel up on that as best as we can. Yeah, it's missing the grommet on that side too. See, I took the cable off the other end. I'll just leave it connected to it. Alright, there's that. I want to dig into next. I don't know if we want to separate. Might as well. It'll probably be easier to clean. It's got, looks like two 14mm going up, holding the top of the handlebars on. We'll take that off as one assembly, and then we'll get these three out. One's out. And we're going to leave the throttle and the front brake connected. We'll just drop it down, the handlebars down. Handlebars already been cleaned up. We already had those off. Just this we need to polish a little bit, I guess. And actually we could take them right off too. Right? Take the handlebars right out of it and take that bracket off and free it up. Alright, remember which way that goes. Went like that, not like that. And can we get those up? Alright, they are out of our way. Let's go for 1, 2, 3. I get the impact gun for them. Oh, a wrench big enough for that. Let's see if we can. And I would think that when we go to loosen these up, they're going to have a spring-loaded pressure. Let's go leave that on a hair. I need air though. Hold on. Let's go. See how they come out. Pretty easy. I don't see it flying off. It's a good sign. We're in. I don't know if these are... Those arms move. Now we can adjust that wherever we want. Let's go pop one of them off. Yeah, they come down. They come apart down lower. I think we're going to go change the oil on those, and as long as the oil gets changed, actually, how are we going to get the oil in? Do we go right down the center, or? I would think so. I'm going to shove something down in there. We got a screwdriver on the bench? No, hold on. Yeah, I guess as long as they... Yeah, so they're open to the inside of the... We could dump the oil right down the center of it. Let's... Got two things to screw with. One is going to be Well, it's going to be just that. That's how we could tighten that front end up. That's how far off it was. Get rid of the play. Let's go pop that up. We'll go take a look at the bearings. If they're really dry, we'll take that apart. We're already in this far, right? Let's go let it down. They're individual. Oh, that looks like it's going to be a mess. We're going to be dropping stuff everywhere. That one. I don't know if this is threaded or just sitting there. Just sitting there. Yeah, we're going to go take them up and clean them up. That looks like it's a good place for a magnet. Not a chick magnet. A ball magnet. But unless a chick is into magnets, you never know. Come on. Come to me. It's a case of the might as well. The bottom one's going to be the bitch though, because you know as soon as they're going to lift up on that, they're going to go pouring out all over the bench. Before we do that, I am going to disconnect the handlebars off of this, just so all this crap isn't flapping around on the front end. It's just the two big wing nuts. Yeah, so raise that front end up and see how many come out of there. And drop any yet. Think I should segregate which ones came out of where? Or if they're not the same amount. I was doing wheelies when it came down, it made that hard clank sound. That was the play that was in there. And we'll make a separate pile. I think we got them all. So I think I'm just going to go take some like carb clean and some rags and try to clean up those races. I don't know, taking it right out of there, it's not going to really bias anything, right? Nothing else in there. As long as you can get the two races clean, shouldn't be an issue. I don't see any pitting. Yeah, they look pretty good. And just clean it. I'll clean them up and bring you back. Yeah, gas on a paper towel seemed to do the trick. Look pretty good. See it? Yes. There's slight chattering there. I'm not going to worry about it. All surfaces look pretty decent. There was no rust on them. That's usually what gets you, the pitting of the rust, but they seem like they're fairly well protected. Before I pack them, I should probably go and take these guys and pop them off and clean them up too while they're off, and see if it can maybe. That looks a little out of kilter. We'll beat that with a hammer. Let it know who's boss. So this one's got a bit of a dent in it. Yeah, I think maybe we could try beating on it a little bit. Is that far enough? Barely. Let's go choke up on it. A little more. There we go. See if we can get it without beating the paint up too much. Probably should put a piece of tape over that. I sanded my hammer a little bit before, just so it doesn't mark it up too much. You can get that one right there. Try to get it right on the edge. I think if I mess with it anymore, this is going to start beating the paint up. Oh, What do you think? Leave it alone or go for it? I think we should leave it alone. Plus it's hidden in the back. You really don't see it that much. That's my excuse. Greased up there, greased down there, and I will not tell you how many times I dropped the balls. Drop my balls. Let's go see. We can get the front end to go back down. I think we are trapped. See how many we could drop now. I'm hoping for a number of 0. I think we got it. Do you stay? Let's go put a little bit more preload on it. Alright. Now I get to do the same for up here, but this one should be easier because it's you're not fighting it as much. Pardon me while I wash my balls. That's pretty good. Looking like clean balls. Top was more of a pain in the ass than the bottom was, because they kept wanting to fall into the center. And as long as we can get this collar down in there. How are you binding on? Come on. There's no threads on there, it just kind of stays. I have a feeling the whole front end has to go. I gotta use 2 hands. I gotta get it to stand up more. Alright, let's see if we can get that. Pretty good. I don't know if we put a preload on that or not, or just I think we're just gonna go with hand tight. It feels like it has no play in it, so it might settle. Well, actually, it shouldn't settle. You know what? Let's go give her. Let's go kind of crank down and back it off just a hair. Yeah, just make sure it's got a right tool for the right job, right? That's pretty much hand tight right there. I think we should leave it right there. I'm happy with that. Are you? Too bad. Clean that up. Got a crack in it. And there too. Let's go find another one of those. Yeah, it was cracked in 2 spots. It's got one starting right there and then a long one going across. And you can see it more on that side. Parts bike. Let's get the crap off of there and see how that one looks. Cleaned it up with a wire. That one looks much better. I think for the bottom, I'm going to go with the sandblaster. I'm just going to hit the bottom with a sandblaster, and we'll probably paint this section of it with that silver wheel paint just to clean it up some. That's better, huh? Let's give it a little heat and we'll hit it one more time. I don't mind it for the areas that are hidden and you kind of glance at it. I wouldn't want to do the other side with it though. It just looks, it's like 70s fake chrome, you know? And let that dry and we'll call it good. It's been drying a good 5 minutes. Let's go see about getting that back on. Looks decent. I don't know if I had a washer on there or not. I don't see one that we took off. I would think it would though, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna start. See if it tightens all the way up. Seems to. I can't go by the other bike because the other bike has blinkers on it and there's a bracket with a blinker indicator here. It's not going to be the same setup. And the bike that I stole this off of didn't have one on there. Actually, we should probably leave those loose because we want to drain the oil, right? We'll just tighten the center one up. Where's the adjuster? Try to keep the pliers square, not to scratch the crap out of it. Yes, no? A little spit shine. I guess, can we put the triple tree? Can we bolt this back on yet? Let's go screw with the fork oil. See if anything comes out of them. We'll put fluid in them. It'd be easier just to get those caps off and probably get a funnel up there. Think anything's gonna come out? Want to say water? I go with water. Or nothing. I'm gonna poke it with a stick to get them to go. Crunchiness came out. Glue? What is that? It's got like a crap around it. It's slowly oozing. That's supposed to be like 7 weight, I think. That's more like 70. I'm sure if I push down on the front end a little, it'll launch across the room. There we go. Now let it, actually, I should probably open the top, let air come in. Is that what's stopping it? There it goes, yeah. Like holding your thumb over the top of a straw, right? She doesn't look too bad, considering. I see a bunch of water coming out, so. And they were dry, they weren't leaking, so it has fluid in them. And I rode it around and hammered the front end and nothing was leaking out around the top, so that might be good on the, you know, on the seal part up that was up in here. Let's rebuild them. So I'm gonna let that run out. I'm gonna do the other side, get that one going too. Yeah, I wonder if that was some like kind of sealer that was on there. This one doesn't have it. That was a little more gooey. Let's get the cap off the top of this side too. There we go. Yeah, that one's starting a little bit more dirty, huh? Like it's taking some metal bits with it. Alright, I'm gonna go find a measuring cup. Hopefully one that's not from inside the house. Yes, I went out and bought a set of measuring cups. Not today, another day. So we got fork oil. I think it's supposed, like fork oil is supposed to be around like 10 weight. And automatic transmission fluid, I believe, is like 7. I think power steering fluid is like 10. Alright, we want 3.5. That's 3.5. There, plus or minus. And some guys go up like with like a 20 weight. I'm not sure what this is. It says medium. We should actually give us a number. It might on the back. I can't read that. But if you go a little, as far as I understand, you go a little thicker with the oil, it dampens just more. For the big kid that's going to be riding it now, 210 pounds on a 50 pound, meant for a 50-pound kid. So you remember earlier when I was saying that it had some weird kind of stuff on it? You know why it had some weird kind of stuff on it? Because it's stripped out. That's why. They glued it in. I may Teflon tape it. Again, it's not, it just has to keep fluid from coming out. It's not like it's holding something on. So let me go with that. I'll get another screw for it, maybe a little longer, and Teflon tape and see if we can get her to tighten down. Yeah, that's how far I can go into the bore. You can see it, focus up here. And that's how long the screw was, so I can go a little bit longer. And there's more threads in there, so that's what I'll do. I'll put a little bit of tape on it and get into good threads and lock her down on that. Scrounge around in the hoard. I'm going to go with a fiber washer on the end of it to help seal the outer surface. I have a feeling it's probably leaking. They kept trying to tighten it down, and then screwed it up. This has a little bit of cushioning to it, but it's still hard enough where it's not going to deform. Problem is, this is standard. This is metric. This is SAE. I'm going to go shove that in a drill bit and open her hole up. Open that hole up. Wish it was a bolt that had the 10mm head on it, but that should do it. It's caught threads, you know, further in, and now it's only tightened with a Phillips screwdriver, so it's not cranked down as much. As long as that doesn't leak, I'm happy. And in you go. That's a close fit. Good thing it's got threads. We'll just screw it in. Let's go here. Probably should have poured that in slower. Now it's got to burp its whole way down. You can see it right there. It's dropping a little at a time. Bet you if I push down that front end, I could shoot it up and hit the ceiling with it. Let that fill. And now we can get it back together. That, and I think they picked up the bracket for the Speedo. Screw that on. That goes up to that lever. So I guess we can go get the headlight bucket. It's probably been an hour. It's been drying. I think I want to drive it, is what it is. I'm gonna go wash my hands. We'll see. Actually, I'm gonna go steal the 2 screws out of the other bike on the other side there for the hardware. Actually, we should probably do the Speedo first, huh? Yeah, we're not gonna be able to get back into that hardware. Before and after. That's better. What I want to do is I want to try powering those lights up and make sure that they're good. I guess one's probably the lighting the face up, and then neutral and high beam would be the other. And there's 3 of them in there. Yeah, the middle one probably just lights the lens. So I have the 6-volt battery that I wasn't using. We could use that for powering up the plugs. I gotta look underneath the scope and see which ones go to which. Try powering them up. Hopefully they'll work. If not, we're gonna take that bezel off and get into those bulbs and steal some from something else, I guess. Alright, so we got red, and then we need this one. It'll be a little tricky to get down in there. I'm going to deboot the boot. The boot gets to boot. Nothing. That should be this one. The neutral light. Right. Red and with a green tracer. Yep. That's the 2 going to that one. I've come to the conclusion that none of them are any good. In we go. That bezel kind of holds those down, so that's why I had to take it off. Yep, that one's no good. So we're gonna have to go find 3 of these. They're gonna be 3 blown bulbs. Little 6-volt jobbies. What do you think my chances are that I have one or 3? I have these. They're only about 50 years old. They're 6-volt, but they're longer. I don't know if that's going to be an issue. Just going to find out right now, huh? As long as I don't see anything that's going to interfere with. It's going to be closer to the lens, but let's see. Yep, nothing wrong with that one. That one's black. That's all 3. And we'll try it again to see if it'll work. Yeah, I believe that's what happens if you run it without a battery. Oh, that's any good, because the battery acts as a regulator, in lack of better terms. We need to get down in there. I gotta be able to get down in there. And then we need solid red. There you go. I think we're good. The next one is that brownish color and a green. So we'll go with that. And either one of the two greens I think are just good. The face lit up. Here it goes. Yeah. That one, and the last one is blue and green. A blue. And one of the 2 greens. There we go. Alright, now we'll have lights. I think we checked it now before putting it all together, huh? Alright, now let's see if we can get that bucket in there. I haven't even tried these bolts on the side yet. I might want to run a tap through there. Or maybe not. I shouldn't have tightened. Down. So right side up? Yeah. Won't be the first time I put stuff upside down, right? The lever's upside down too. What am I hitting? I think that tab on that side. No, it's not hitting. I'm not touching the speedo cable. What was I running into? I just say we tighten them up and let them find their own home. Yeah, I want to crack those open on top, just so that the arms can float, you know. I would say see, almost looks pretty good right there. Look like it's in the middle. It looks like, if anything, it needs to get pushed that way a little. Do you see more of this than you do of this? And I guess is it? Probably put the other handlebar on. Might make it a little easier. I'm looking at the speedo right now, though. We're in the center of it. That actually looks pretty good. I say we just leave it like that. If later we feel like moving it, we'll just hit it with a hammer. Just my authority. Alright. Now I get to tuck all those wires back in and hook them all up. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? That was not bad. We are still missing some wires that need to go in there, though. One being on this side. We have to take that apart because there is a horn button that goes there. It was broke. I ordered a new old stock one. Should be. And we have this handlebar, which has a switch up inside it too. That is not on it yet. We have to install that and snake wires through the handlebars. Oh yeah. So this wire goes in the handlebar there, and it's supposed to pop out there. Yeah. My inclination is to run a piece of mechanics wire up and try to get it out of that hole and then backfeed it. I'm also stubborn. I want to try. Maybe if I could see it, I can get it with a pick, you know? I should probably measure out too. So we get to right about there. I see it. I think my chances are I can grab it with a pick, though. Not quite sure if you're going to stay and focus for me or not. Let's try it right there. I'm going in. You're right there. It's down just a little too far. We'll capture it. Button this side up. Put the brake levers back on. I had the wrong one on there. I had the other side. Yeah. Had a little tab sticking up. I guess some models have a brake light switch that fires off of that. Anyway, put that on there. Yeah, I gotta go adjust that up, and it feels like the adjustment's fairly far. I was trying to figure out what they use for a brake light switch, but the brake light switch, you watch this right here, And you see the two wires going out of it. So it's got a set of contacts in there. It kind of shrinks the cable up a little bit, makes contact with those. So there's some play to be lost through that union. Hope that switch is good. So I gotta get that switch and wire. Which unfortunately broke. I thought it was okay. Or I would have ordered one. So we're gonna go take it apart and see if we can make it one again. We heal you, maybe. Taking it apart. The factory plastic clamp that is gotta be 47 years old. It's still good. I'll buy a tie wrap now, and in 12 months it shatters. Let's switch apart. Little critters even living in there, huh? So the screw was loose on the switch too, so that didn't help. But that end of the bracket is supposed to lock into like a plastic location on the back, and that's ripped out, so we'll have to deal with that. And then on the side, it just sweeps back and forth. And those are the contacts. So I am going to go clean those up with a pencil and take care of that little nest. Put it back together. The jacket's kind of beat up. It's where it was inside the handlebar was fine, but then afterwards, here's where the sun hit it and cooked it. So I'm going to do my best to clip a bunch of that back and probably slide some shrink wrap tubing over it and heat it with a heat gun and shrink it down. I did switch surgery. I had to go take its innards apart. I had a roll of shrink tubing, but I couldn't get it over it, so I had to go for the next size up. The next size up is white, but that's what I had. And it's sistered together right here because it wasn't one continuous. They kind of look like a gray primer kind of color, don't they? Maybe a little on the light side. But I would think it would dry flat. Now I did it. Can't take me anywhere. Dry that up. We're just tightening up the brake levers. This is also the rear brake. So it's got a rear brake with your foot, and it's got a rear brake by hand. I'm trying to route the cables, and I'm pretty sure. So here's that rear brake cable. It just doubles up with the lever. Then it has a cable come down, pushes on it or pulls on it. The same thing. That cable routes up through here, up and around, and over to that handlebar. But if you go too far, that cable really binds. You can't even turn the front end all the way. I don't know if the tab just broke off of the stop or wore it away, or possibly, and the reason why I'm putting it this way on the other bike is it's set up the exact same way. Not that they both can't be wrong. but I do see like extra chatter marks right here, like where maybe a cable went through. So I'm going to try running it across through here and up. I just don't know. Just got to go up through here and going around the outside of the handlebar. But it looks like it's been that way for a while because that's the Speedo and it's got damage on it from like rubbing. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just a long-term mistake or long-term correct. I'll try it. I'll put it on the other side. If not, that's where it's going to stay, and we're going to put a blob of weld down there to stop it from moving quite as far. Much better. And the cable runs down through there, down and across, but it is in no way an issue with binding. It still has room when it goes the other way. Good. Now, you guys want to wire that up for me? What do you think? Try it with no wiring diagram, see what we make out. We put light colors together, see what happens. There's only baker's dozen. Wasn't that bad. Every place had, everyone had a place to go, you know. There's no extra spots. The only thing that didn't, the gray wire coming from the horn button didn't have a matching color, but it's the only wire that was left over, so we're going for that. And again, this is a replacement, so it's probably the wrong color. That one had a bad connector, so I just replaced it. You think, turn the key on? See what you get? I don't see a headlight. You got a taillight? You got anything? You got a taillight. Alright, let's see if we got rear brake light. Okay, rear brake light, but the brakes are... There it goes. What about handlebar ones? Yeah, it's just not holding it far enough to work the switch. What about the front one? Alright. The one with the cable, that's the one with the connector and the cable. We have neutral light. Don't see any power for the circuit. Let's try wiggling the switch up here. I have a feeling this switch is crap. Yeah, the high beam, low beam's not working either. What about the horn? No horn. We have no power for the headlights or headlight. What if something under the seat not plugged in or hooked up or done or correct, or are we missing any? I'm gonna go poke around a little bit, see what I can find. Alright, so what I found is the red pack is power coming on from the key. 1 click, 2 clicks, power comes on. And then you have another grouping of this one, which is like a brown red tracer. And that should be getting power on, my opinion, on the headlight circuit. So when you click all the way up into headlight, and nothing comes out of there. So I took a jumper from the pack that has power all the time to the other side to just energize that circuit. Headlight still does not work, but the lights lit up on the dash, and if you go to high beam, low beam works. And if you probe down for the headlight for power's going there, just the bulb's no good. So I gotta go locate one of those, and again, it probably makes sense, that's why the other bulbs are blowing too. Had no battery which run with it, blew all the bulbs. So that I don't think comes out of there. I think it is all one piece, and I think that sucks because it's kind of expensive. I think that's how it is. I need a headlight. And I think there's there's probably a break in the circuit from when that key energizes from that position to that position. I didn't see anything underneath the seat, but the gas tank's in the way, and then you'd unthread it, gas tank out, pull it out, you can see the wiring of it. I may circumvent that. I may just try and maybe put a toggle, even if it's on the headlight, just for the headlight position for on-off, power to the headlight circuit on-off somewhere. I'm not sure yet. Looked at the other bike. The other bike's got a bulb in it, but the lens is busted. And again, it's one piece. So I was gonna start screwing with it. I'll just go order one. So for now, the headlight doesn't work, but we know what it needs. All the switches work. The horn switch works too. It just God. The horn needs some love. I think when the bike runs too, it might be a little bit better because the voltage will come up. So we'll try. And sometimes there's an adjuster screw on the back of horns that you can change the pressure on the cone and where it vibrates. I don't see one on that one though. Hit it with 12 volts. We'll make it vibrate. Let's put my grips on. What that means, don't you? It's a quiet horn. I think I'm done. It's a few days later. A new headlight came in because I needed a new headlight. Actually, I ordered two. One for the next bike. And we have high beam and low beam, or vice versa. Get that in the bike. High beam, low beam. Alright. Let's see if we can get the horn off the other bike to work. It should be ground. The ground's making it. Green. She's making an attempt. Out of my way, coming through. That one has an adjuster on it. I didn't see that on the other one. I'm gonna go take another close look. Oh, there you go. Here's why it's not working. She's crushed. I'm gonna go look on the other one real quick before I change it, see if there's an adjuster on that side, and if we can tweak it. Come on. Want to hear an annoying sound? Dumb and Dumber. I gotta do my stunt riding. I need my helmet. And my helmet, unfortunately, is in Krusty's treasure chest, which is against that wall that I cannot open the treasure chest. So, these have not run in 6 months?
Since fall.
Alright, we'll go with that.
Fall.
So we're gonna go cold start him, but Brian's gonna have him on his video because this video is already long enough. So you wanna go check it out? Check him out. Other than a flat tire on Krusty, that was pretty uneventful. And of course, the helmet wasn't in there.
Bark. That was patina, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, starter.
Nice skid, sir.
I probably pulled a pin up. Car. Or maybe I'm just trying to get too much out of 70 cc's, 72 cc's.
Might want to rev it more. Going the wrong way with the gears. There you go. This really loses it. I thought you were going for the hubcaps.
That is way too much fun, sir.
Yep, turn 3,000 miles. So you put 3 miles on, run up and down your driveway, your street.
Nice.
Let's try turn the key on, huh? Toy's coming out. You got an exhaust leak. Yeah.
You want to go out there?
Sure. Oh no. No. Well, it did pretty good. Good thing I know a good pressure washer. Got a little on the dirty side. The only damage report I would say is I lost a screw for the taillight. That my camera mount broke, but hey, my chest mount. I say it kind of came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. You get a little bit more power out of it. It is kind of doggy. They make an 88cc kit, which is the jug is bigger, has another cylinder head, a higher performance cam, comes as a whole kit to put on there. So I can see that happening in its future, but for right now we're just going to register it and go have some fun with it for a while, and hopefully get another one built so that the wife and I can go tooling around together in some of the ocean towns. So guys, until the next one, I will see you later. Thanks for hanging out and enjoying this project with me. Came a long way. Till then, see ya.